Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I know it was a long and unexpected wait. The natures of D. Dawson and Moscow land cafes, and oh, Jesus, it's been a nightmare. But hey, we've got some good ones coming up here. We've got Secret versus Fnatic, and this is a game that needs to be won really by both sides, so it's a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. And more interesting to note, I would say, is this is going to be the first time these two teams face off. So it's the first time Big Daddy and Fly are going to face their former teammates, Trixie and Hani. So that should be fun to watch.
Who's going to win? Should be interesting. Let's hop right into the draft here and see what's cooking. And oh boy, that's a Big Daddy Wisp first picked.
I like it. Most teams respect the ban, and they don't want to hand it over, but it looks like Big Daddy's going to get the big old ball that he loves to play oh so much. And speaking of respect bans, it is Team Secret who instantly eliminate the Spectre pickup. And from what we saw already, Fnatic typically hold off the Spectre for maybe later in the road as far as the draft goes, but oh my god, I love it. It was just last time that we got to cast Secret, and it was Kuroki who picked up the gyrocopter and really put on a clinic in the top lane, constantly throwing out those homing missiles onto the Weaver, really frustrating him. And now Secret's first game into 6.82, and homing missile got a bit of a buff, now up to 500 damage at max level. We'll see if he's going to bring that back.
Pretty ridiculous, and I'm hoping to see the homing missile build once again. I think it was particularly well suited to deal with the Weaver, but here the sky's the limit. I think Gyro's still okay if you do that more traditional build. We also saw how well flat cannon work against those familiar birds. Not a hero that Secret's been running all too much, but first pick gyrocopter. This patch is in full force.
Now in the hands of Fnatic.
Yeah,
so,
and Fnatic also ban out the Magnus. I don't know. I mean, Magnus is good, but I think Hani is a little bit of a lone warrior in his love for Magnus this patch and how big the buffs were.
I mean, he did some pretty good work with it the last game, given he did whiff an RP here and there. But in the end, all that matters, they got the W, they got the big slams that they wanted, and they bursted down the opponents. But here we go, Team Secret. They had been favoring a support Naga for quite a while, and it looks like they are going to bring that back. I would have wagered they're not typically going to run the more core carry Naga style where you kind of rice it out, go into the late game, get your radiance. I would imagine this is going to be more of a support. Speaking of which, it's also something to look out for. The Mirana grab, it's something Secret always loved to go for. Puppy loves the Mirana, and they've already, I believe I was heard, a 9-1 record with the hero, so they sport a very nice solid start with there. They also sport a very good record with Death Prophet, but of course this is all 6.81. So
yes,
these stats are kind of thrown by the wayside somewhat.
DP has been pretty much ignored in the handful of games that I've got to cover so far. She wasn't nerfed so hard except for the cooldown, but just the changes to the glyphs and the towers and all that stuff kind of just punched that pushing meta right in the face, and she was on the front end of it. Also interesting to see Fnatic rocking the Shadow Demon once more. It was a pick that worked out well for them in their game earlier today. The defensive and offensive versatility of the disruption. We saw a couple of clutch plays where that was the undefeated Trixie game where he went 0 deaths on that Spectre, and Shadow Demon did come in handy a few times to prevent those big streaks from coming out, which I think is kind of a unique aspect of him now.
So, two things I'm witnessing here. One that makes me very happy is there's obviously no Void involved. There's no Razor involved just yet. We're slowly seeing the meta just start the first initial steps of a new evolution. New heroes slowly coming back into play. Teams are beginning to flex their 6.82's muscles a bit. And and then the other thing is with the Shadow Demon grab, it's a lot more possibilities. I've seen already some teams try to run with the Shadow Demon Terrorblade combo. With Terrorblade still in the pool, it could be something Fnatic could consider.
Yeah, I would love to see a Terrorblade finally picked. He's been banned out more often than he's been picked up in the matches that we've seen so far in Starladder. So certainly a possibility. Fnatic will think about their final ban. The Pugna here getting banned out by Secret. He's got that fun new change where you can now use the ultimate on allies, and would have been interesting to see that paired with the Wisp. You can kind of heal up the Wisp, who heals up his buddy, and make the chain of life exchanging. But there's that Mirana ban we were talking about, so no Priestess of the Moon for Puppy.
Unfortunately, but, Puppy, also had pointed out or had said on his Twitter that this is a patch. So maybe this is the moment he's been waiting for to get his hands on this kind of a patch and be in that captain's chair and really formulate a really well-structured draft. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to develop. And, well, we might see another Matamba man, Sven, as he did a really great job. It was mid lane he played. He got great farm early, but it was a lot of early rotations that came out as well. He ended up going with the, power treads, Mask of Madness, and good mobility with the Blink Dagger.
Pretty
so
standard. We didn't really see anything 6.82 specific. You know, no Aghanim Scepter came out, but still fingers crossed that one of these days we'll see the epic God Strength passed around the team.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a fun little new thing, but, you know, it's always like, is it really valuable to grab? You know, you can always get it later in the game, and it can still add a whole lot, especially with a gyrocopter on your team. Can you imagine him benefiting from almost double the damage with that flat cannon? It can get absurd real quick, but, you know, from what we saw last time, I don't think that's going to be something they quite consider, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, only time will tell. Now Team Secret, they'll grab their off-laner here. That's the Nature's Prophet, so getting a little bit of pushing power. And the great thing about Prophet in this new patch is not any changes, but he can come to the lanes now. And the global presence of the Nature's Prophet and the Wisp, the teleport, the relocate, there's potential for Team Secret to just all of a sudden have a whole cavalry that arrives in what would normally be an even exchange. That's one of the great things about Nature's Prophet just in general, is his mobility, especially in the early levels. But here you go, Ember Spirit picked up for Fnatic.
Ember Spirit works pretty nicely. He's got fantastic wave clearing. When you do see those armies of illusions and Treants, he's right there with the Sleight of Fist to kind of clean house and build up that farm, and he still has a fantastically high ceiling to work with, so it looks like this could potentially be the Trixie hero, potentially, so we'll have to see. He'll try to get that early farm. Ember Spirit can have a bit of trouble early in the game before he gets to his level 6 and being able to build up. And, well, Enigma grab right here. This is a nice little throw. This could be the puppy Enigma that we've come to love for quite a long time on, you know, when he was on Na'Vi. So a hero he's very familiar with. He did have small tweaks here and there. I believe his Midnight Pulse was adjusted.
Yeah, it's sort of one of those kind of even just readjusted where it does less damage, but it's been changed to pure damage. So now it used to be magical that pierced through spell immunity, so it would get reduced by spell resistance, and now they've reduced the percentage it drains to compensate for it being pure damage. So still goes through BKB, and for all intents and purposes, essentially the same spell.
And with that Enigma pickup, my wager of that support Naga Siren's beginning to not look so true. This could be now more that core Naga Siren. I'm not sure how they're planning on running it, if it's going to be a mid lane kind of a setup or if they just throw her in the safe lane.
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
Now they have the Nature's Prophet. There's a couple of funky things they could do. We've seen a little bit of Nature's Prophet mid here and there. And off-lane Enigma is not something to totally cross off as a possibility. With those Eidolons, you can deny pretty well, and it's a lot of last hit power you have with those little blueberries just throwing auto attacks left and right. So Secret have a lot of versatility, but they may just keep things standard with Enigma in the jungle, Prophet in the off lane, and look towards a safe laner and maybe do like a Wisp Naga kind of mid lane little buddy system there.
One of the funny things I have seen, and I believe you were in that game with us, when Na'Vi US Snake King ran Nature's Prophet in the mid lane, now with 2 runes, he picked up 1 rune and swiftly TP'd over to the opposite side of the river to grab the other rune promptly after. So just a fun way to take advantage of that. Also, what they have in their benefit is getting that Wisp. Wisp is one of those heroes that does benefit from getting a bottle very early in the game, and now with these additional runes, you're going to see a lot more supports and maybe even offlaners pick up a bottle for themselves and just kind of play more aggressive, going towards and contesting the runes and just bottling up for themselves. I mean, imagine the mid laner picking up his own rune, Wisp going to the other side getting his, and that's a lot of sustain you can bring back to that mid lane if they do want to run with a dual mid lane setup, which, well, Team Secret have done quite a few times.
Yeah, exactly. And that was sort of an indirect buff to the Wisp now. The Bounty Rune is also pretty good for Wisp as well. It's a support that really wants to race to level 6, get relocate up basically as soon as possible, and having that little bit of extra experience to pick up it's helpful. It does actually make a little bit of a difference for heroes like Wisp, your roaming Maranas, and heroes on the like. Timbersaw, final pick for Fnatic. He now has that Aghanim's upgrades for the double chakram, so perhaps we'll see that one.
I have already seen it one time. It was not very successful. They blitzed right on forward to get a hold of it. This was in the Canada Cup. Trying to think, it was MJW, I believe, was the player, and he's a pretty prominent Timbersaw from what I heard from Fogged. And you know, he went right for it, which was nice. It was cool. We got to see some fancy saw blades flying out there, but the mana pool to sustain using it was a bit finicky. Okay. So I would wager he might go for the Soul Ring into the Bloodstone first, and then maybe consider an Aghanim's after that, and really being able to saw down those Treants and trees, because when you do get the Aghanim's, though, his farming potential really accelerates. And, well, for the final pickup to close out this draft, it's going to be S4, grabbing the Clockwork. This is a hero he did fall back on for quite a while, and, you know, we could see a mid lane clockwork.
Yeah, that's certainly an option. Team Secret, one of these teams that's a little bit hard to guess exactly how they'll set up lanes, not only when you have ambiguous heroes like this who can really play any mix of lanes, but also the players. They've been rotating around a fair bit, where S4, of course, can play mid quite well, and an accomplished off-lane player, so there's all sorts of versatility. We'll just have to be a little bit patient here, get those seatbelts ready, and see what Secret wants to do with their lanes once we get right into it. Hopefully Fnatic can load in here. But I like this this Team Secret draft. I think KuroKy should be able to find a fair bit of farm on this Naga, and even though the pushing meta has been nerfed, it's still not terrible.
Oh, no.
There are some options. It's just basically you can't knock down the tier 1s back to back to back anymore.
Yeah.
But
well, you know what?
can still take towers pretty prominently.
Earlier this morning when I was doing the C division, we did see one of the teams still go with the old tried and true, got the hold of Death Prophet, got a hold of a Razor, and sure enough, they ended up taking racks at about 15 minutes in. So it's a little harder now with those instant fortifications, but it's not impossible, and it could definitely still be done. So, we'll have to see if it's something they fall back on. They do have a fair amount of push with that Enigma and with Nature's Prophet right there, and obviously down the road, Naga Siren, if she can build up a wealth amount of farm for herself, she can also contribute and have heavy pushing prowess, but we'll have to see how it goes. Fnatic, though, they have their own great wave clearing to deal with that. Gyrocopter with his flat cannon. You got Timbersaw, of course, who can clear out waves. If he gets that Agnum Scepter, it makes it so much easier. Ember Spirit with Sleight of Fist. The Cleave coming out from Sven. I don't think pushing is going to be a problem at all for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's also just a little riskier now since you get significantly less gold from knocking down towers. It's a little bit more all-in-y, I guess you could say. But we do see an interesting player hero swap compared to what we saw last game. It'll be Matumba Man on the Gyrocopter, and Come With Me will take Helm on the Sven. So probably a position for Sven. Boogie will take the Shadow Demon, playing that position 5, grabs himself the Courier, and plenty of consumables here with a smoke already. That puts Hani on the Timbersaw, Trixie on the Ember Spirit, and Matumba Man going mid on the Gyro. This is going to be an interesting change of pace.
And for
we'll see how they settle down.
Secret over here on your Dire side, this is their debut into 6.82, and, well, Captain Puppy has picked up his old tried and true Enigma. Just nearby, S4 is going to be playing that Clockwork. We got Simba, a.k.a. Fly. He's going to be playing your Nature's Prophet. Around the mid lane, KKY, also known as KuroKy, going to be playing the Naga Siren. And, of course, Big Daddy playing none other than his new signature hero, the Wisp.
So this will be a 5-man smoke invade coming out of Fnatic to get things started. And we'll see how Secret react. S4 could be in some trouble. Boogie's here for the disruption setup. Can he get in range to find it? He may be able to. He finds it on the Wisp. Matumba Man at the front line. Skills up the Rock Barrage, doing a fair bit of damage to KuroKy. S4 now on the front lines. Who's going to be the first to fall? KuroKy takes big damage and a stun. It's Fnatic that are on the aggressive. Secret doing a good job minimizing their losses, but in comes the Timbersaw, and first blood is drawn. They'll get the Enigma as well as the Clockwork. And not the best start for Team Secret, but in comes KuroKy. He picks up a double kill. It may cost him his life, but no, Big Daddy's there with the heal, and, well, first blood goes to Fnatic, but a double kill on the Naga out of the gate is a little bit scary.
That's a bit of a Royal Rumble in the jungle to just kind of start things off, and, well, now we finally get the sound of the horn, and I guess the games will begin, and very aggressive play coming up from both sides, and it doesn't stop right now. Hani trying to get away from this one. Very low life right here. They're not going to be able to pursue, even with that additional move speed from the tether, but still relatively even 2 for 2 to lead things off, and now they're going to separate and go to their appropriate lanes. But also worthy to note, Fnatic traveling through that jungle, they did get some very nice wards down, removing a lot of the jungle. Even the spectators amazed by this one.
Amazing! Whoa! Shadow Demon will suicide into the neutrals. He picked up his boots before he died, so of course that was intentional. That's the next point I wanted to make. Shadow Demon was the one that actually got that bonus gold from the first blood, and that's huge. That's one of your better heroes to find it, because he'll start with boots essentially now, and that's something that would normally take him just a little while to farm up and increases his roaming potential by a decent margin here.
Here we go, Matumbo Man. He's going for homing missile, a little bit build. It's only level 1, but he already immediately throws it out on KuroKy. But it's not going to be quite as effective when you're going to be going against this dual lane, and Wisp is constantly going to be there, bottling up and helping out KuroKy constantly. And I would imagine he's going to be constantly moving around, finding those runes, bottling it up for himself, and just constantly, healing up KuroKy. So homing missile is going to do a bit of damage, but I don't think it's going to scare him out of the lane.
Yeah. So looking at the lane situations here, it is Come With Me on that support Sven, as we mentioned, and Trixie will end up taking the Ember Spirit to the safe lane, Hani in the off lane on the Timbersaw, and Secret lanes looking pretty close to what we predicted. This dual lane mid with a bottle already out on Big Daddy, so they will, of course, be looking to control these runes. They'll just do the off-lane profit on Fly, and up top it'll be just a safe lane farming S4. So Clockwork getting a lot of good farm. Last hit leader by a decent margin, and already finding level 3, going for that battery assault build. So I think we can expect him to be pretty aggressive as there's a rumble for the rune already breaking out. Big Daddy won't be able to find it. Double damage rune gets picked up on Boogie. Lots of damage coming out on both sides of the coin, but it is No Tail that'll find the kill first. Now Kuroki on the run. Matumba Man has another rocket barrage, and that'll make it a 1-for-1.
1-for-1, but definitely a better exchange for Fnatic, taking down that Naga. Kuroki going to be forced to send all the way back to base and allowing Matumba Man to get a little bit of extra time to CS in this lonesome lane all for himself. And, I mean, that's the beauty of having two runes now.
Yeah, Trixie dives onto the Prophet and caught the tail end of that one, but finds a pretty easy kill. Standard Ember Spirit build down here at 2-0-2 and just catching the Prophet off unaware, I guess.
Nice swift takedown, evens it back up again. 4-for-4 right now. Fly makes his return back to the lane to use it, but what I was saying is now with two runes on the field, just expect to see a lot more aggressive plays like that and people constantly fighting it out, trying to get a hold of one of them, if not the other, just because you're always going to be guaranteed to grab at least one if you go right for it. So now, you know, I'm trying to touch base here with Puppy. He's been restricted a bit as far as access to his own jungle. You know, he already lost 2 of the camps here, but still doing relatively okay. 6-0. Ideally, he'd be doing a little bit better by this point. Already picks up the Sage's Max, looking to build forward into that Soul Ring.
Yeah, a good rule of thumb is Enigma should be able to keep up with a solo mid laner in terms of experience, or at least pretty close to it. We see Matumba Man just now hitting level 5. Not the best example, as he's found a couple of kills, so gotten some extra experience, but Puppy's certainly behind the benchmark he would normally set for himself if his camps weren't blocked. But they were just sentries, so they will expire. Just going to slow him down for the first few minutes of the game. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we'll see Kuroki get engaged on by Trixie. Pops the mirror image, and that will be enough to ensure his survival as Big Daddy is there with the tether, the overcharge to heal him up as he starts sipping up that bottle.
Immediately, nearly back up to full life. Just the sweet benefit of having that Wisp right by your side. And, well, we're getting ready to approach the 4-minute mark. Big Daddy heads towards the top, and we already have Fly at the bottom to cover the bottom rune. So to get it, oh, look at that. Cheeky play, jumps in Disruption, and grabs the rune for himself. Nice play coming out from Boogie.
And Big Daddy will grab himself the bounty rune, so fills up that bottle and also finds some extra experience. Almost level 4, and as we mentioned, Wisp really one of those supports that needs that experience more so than others. But just look at the raw last hit difference. No one is farming well except for S4. He has 30 last hits. The next highest is only 17. Yeah, so great news for Secret. Up top, Puppy in some trouble, but Simba TP's in. Will try and help him out. The neutral deny secures Puppy a fate that I suppose better than the other outcomes. And they make it a 1-for-1, but now S4 going on to Matumba Man. Kuroki's there with an ensnare. It's only level 1, but will still lock him in place. Boogie coming around, has the disruption to buy Matumba Man some space, and he'll survive. Now on the other side, Simba comes in, goes on to Boogie, and oh, I spoke too soon. Wisp will bring him down with the balls, and they catch the Shadow Demon, so it's a 2-for, and now Secret pulling ahead.
Wow, that was great. And I love the funny little play, the Hadouken coming out from the neutral creep to deny Puppy. Just conveniently worked out in his favor, and then they followed up with a couple of sweet takedowns, including that gyrocopter from the mid lane. But it actually is going to be Trixie now holding the fort down in this mid lane. Maybe feeling like they can either A, let him take advantage of the soul lane for the meantime, or maybe they feel like he could, you know, go against this Naga Wisp duo just a little bit better than how Gyro can deal with it. Gyro would love to go more one-on-one. That's really where you can take advantage of that rocket barrage. And well, when you're constantly going against a duo, he's not going to be at his true potential.
Yeah, certainly right. I have high hopes for S4, though. He's already found his level 6, still committed to this battery assault build, which is the highest DPS you can go for. So now with phase boots and the hook shot, we'll probably see him move around, or at least pick up a TP scroll and be prepared to teleport into lanes if they overcommit or an opportunity presents itself. Come With Me has found a fair bit of farm now. He's taken over the safe lane farming as Ember Spirit has moved mid, and this has just been kind of an awkward laning phase for Fnatic where Matumba Man started off strong, and now his last hit score is pretty weak, only 13 in about 6 minutes, and it's Come With Me, who was originally in the position 4, that's kind of turning into the position 1 Sven, as he's soon to find his level 6.
Yep, and he's continuously leveling up that homing missile. Going to be big damage, but actually going on the mid lane here. Trixie pulls out the Flame Guard to avoid extra damage, and here comes Shadow Demon. Comes in with Disruption. They want to go ahead and take down Big Daddy. Big burst coming in from Hani as he comes in to help out, and, well, Big Daddy, swift tether to the left side to get away from that one. Very Houdini-like to kind of swiftly escape away as he'll be playing it safe. So not going to be an easy takedown. You're going to need a lot more lockdown in that to take down the Wisp.
Yep, and it's hard to see, but he's got a double damage rune on, so I was thinking there was potential for a turnaround there, catching them possibly unaware, but no, not going to be an option. Homing Missile will chase down Simba to the end of the earth, or will he get the kill? Look at this, taking it all the way back to the Tier 2 tower, and that will be enough to bring it down. It is a level 3 rocket, so Matumba Man is committed to this build and looking for that big 500 max damage when he turns level 7.
Top lane, Puppey goes hand in hand with S4 now as he does obviously complete that soul ring and gets a little bit closer towards that level 6, but they want to start adding pressure to this Tier 1 tower. But right there is going to be Shadow Demon quickly throwing out the poison, trying to slow their roll a bit right now, and also Hani hand in hand, just 1 inch away from getting his own personal level 6 to help out. But S4 looking to push past the ropes right now, gets caught with the disruption. Big damage with the Wrath of Nature, gets caught out and quickly taken down. So a bit of overzealous action coming out from the team's Secret here. Even Nature's Prophet forced to come in, but now mid lane also, it looks like Trixie looking to shuffle away. Big Daddy and Naga now pulls out the Song of the Siren to avoid any sort of incoming danger. They're going to try to take down this homing missile, but it's going to take a few extra hits here. They will be able to stop it from coming in and pick up a sweet 22 gold.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Naga Siren hitting level 6. Of course, it's a long cooldown, so they can only do that every 3 minutes, but it does allow you to be a little hyper-aggressive, force out some TPs, and I think all in all, they'll be pretty happy with that exchange. Bounty Rune bottled up by the Ember Spirit, and we'll see the Gyrocopter be the one to pick up the haste. Top Tier 1 gets denied by the Timber Saw, so that'll be the first tower kill of the game, and well, denial is good news, but still Secret will reap the benefits and find a little bit of extra gold in their pockets.
Yeah, for both offlaners, they're not really having the easiest time ever, but, you know, Hani does manage to get himself up to level 7 now, and they pop a smoke, and they're ready to make some action happen here as they're potentially looking to rotate around and behind. They would love to be able to shut down this Naga. Don't want to allow her to get to that point where she can really be a nuisance. She's very far forward here. There's your disruption, and the Soul Catcher to follow right now. Kuroki going to try to get away. Big Daddy's right there to help out, but it's not going to be enough help. Puppey drops the black hole, catches on 3. Do they have the follow-up to take anyone down? They don't, and they end up losing the Enigma. Puppey, unfortunately, did not recognize that the follow-up was not going to be there to back it up, and, well, it just kind of goes back in their face. 8-7.
Too little, too late. I was thinking Prophet may want to throw an ultimate in there for some follow-up damage and TPN, but even Fly is looking at that as, not so hot, Puppy. It was a noble effort. If you could have gotten there maybe a second earlier, that's all they would have needed to keep the Naga alive, but given that the Naga was down, just where's your follow-up damage coming from? I guess the answer to that is, as we saw, nowhere.
Yep. Gyrocopter gets a bit of free farm happening here in the bottom lane. His Aquila is just about, if not already, complete. He's also going to be a bottle holder for his team, so you're seeing more of that support bottle holding happening right here as he quickly goes over and always tries his best to acquire the runes as often as possible. S4 now, opposite side of the map, makes his appearance here on the bottom right now. 13 more seconds, he'll have hookshot available. I don't think Gyrocopter is going to be the best target to kind of go down just yet, and well, we're going to see a rotation coming in from Fnatic's side, so we'll see how long S4 wants to plan himself here, but if it's going to be so much longer, he might risk getting ganked out.
Yeah, now Secret, I think they need to tone it down a little bit. They've got a decent gold lead of 1,000 experience going to, bottom lane. Disruption comes out, but relocation onto Kuroki. They'll go right onto Matumba Man. He'll take too much damage, and he'll fall. Now Kuroki gets targeted by the opposition of Fnatic. They won't be able to bring him down, and now it's Secret that are on the run. Relocate out. We'll keep the 2 alive. S4 will run through the river, and that will open up some space for the Prophet to move through the lane. Nice cogs, and this little entryway or corridor will make an easy escape. He finds a bounty rune and will head back to safety.
Very nice play from Secret. One of those things you tend to, at least for me personally, forget is when having the Wisp on the team now reaching his level 6, you can never always bank on the idea that he's going to just relocate in and be there as the cavalry and also conveniently take down the mid Tier 1 tower. So big advantage for Secret, but they're not going to let it get away for easy, or at least try to. But nope, Song of the Siren back up and ready to go. Just the ever so frustrating escape mechanism of your Naga Siren as he just walks away unscathed.
Yeah, absolutely. So every 3 minutes, they can afford to do something like that. But a huge trade for Secret. They get the kill on the Gyrocopter, the tower to follow up, and that 1,000 gold lead is now turned into 3,000 as they pick up the experience edge once more. The Wisp off to a great start. Big Daddy's 3-0-3, yet to concede a death. And his farm not looking too shabby, just boots, bottle, and magic wand for now, but 900 gold already stored up if he wants to move towards a mechanism. Well,
it will be Puppy who's going to be the mech holder
for
the
here. Okay.
So, you know, that's good, though, because it allows Big Daddy to pick up maybe something else instead. Yeah. We've seen other Wisps pick up something like a Vlad's, you know, but you know what to see. The Urn, yeah, is going to be grabbed. Urn has got a huge buff this patch, too, so it's almost nearly a requirement that each team at least gets one.
Yeah, now it's pure damage rather than HP removal, so it does stop things like Blink Daggers, interrupts healing salves, so definitely some good stuff there. KuroKy is going to go for this more kind of fighting Naga Siren build, won't be rushing a Radiance or anything like that, has the Aquila already.
Relocate.
Drum complete, down bottom, it'll be on Matumba Man. And once more, he'll take a tumble as they've used that global presence.
Yeah, that's 2 times straight with the relocate that they get a hold of this gyrocopter and just make him pay. So, you know, with that said, it looks like Wisp is going to be the solo one to return back to the lane, but he runs right into Trixie's arms, and he has a bit of a bounty, but quickly tethers away, but the Remnant Forward will take him down, and, well, look at Trixie. 1K gold now in the bank for him, and I can't help but feel like that small bit of bounty was to help out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now in the bottom lane, KuroKy chipping at the tower. Hani comes in, will do a lot of damage with the Chakram Timber Chain forward. Now the follow-up is here. Stormbolt out onto S4. That'll stop him dead in his tracks. Chakram once more, and you get all that pure damage from being near the tree line. And
quick bot of Vlad.
More than S4 can handle, but wow.
Quick bot of Vanguard right at the end.
Wow, so spends all of his money. A nice heads-up play right there, and, well, will find himself a little tankier when he comes back out of the grave. But that is the Blink Dagger now complete for Come With Me on the Sven.
So normally I'd be like a Vanguard and a Clockwork. That's weird, but hey, we got the Crimson Guard now. So maybe Clockwork's looking to get the new item under his belt. It would definitely benefit him jumping in there and being able to have some extra sustain, some extra durability when he's going right into the fray. So it looks like S4 is going to be going down that road.
Yeah, and I think a good item this game with Sven and Ember Spirit throwing out right clicks, Gyrocopter as well. Sure, you've got some magic damage from the Timber Saw, but Crimson Guard will certainly do quite a bit this game. Puppy smokes in towards the Roche Pit, and looks like he'll have a go at it. Has some Eidolons here, Simba's nearby, and we'll see what Puppy can do. Slam did get a buff, so it does a little extra damage now. And
maybe Puppy's like, this is not the Roche Pit I'm familiar with. It is tight and cramped in here. I'm feeling a little claustrophobic even trying to work with my creeps here, but he's slowly getting it started right now. But Sven walks by, and he quickly already sees that something's happening over here. It's just so easy to spot out a Roche happening now. Yeah. Just, you know, a risky gamble to take, and Puppy has to pull back.
Yeah, and I think with Adam Medallion, that's just a little ambitious from Puppy. You saw how little the damage was on Roche, and I think Medallion is going to be core there. Well, other item progression, Trixie does have his drums complete now on his phase boots, and the Nature's Prophet, old Simba here, Fly grabs himself the Maelstrom. So Power Tread's Maelstrom, pretty standard stuff. We'll probably be looking for a Blink Dagger so that he can commence the rat that much more effectively.
Yep, and for KuroKy, who is, you know, typically going to be hand-in-hand with Big Daddy as the Wisp, just trying to babysit him as much as possible, get in that farm. Meanwhile, by the way, the mid lane here, S4, potentially going to get caught out once more. Trixie with that DD, looking to rip him right apart, and he does fall. Vanguard not going to be too helping. Well, Big Daddy relocates in with KuroKy, and, well, Big Daddy falls. And now KuroKy, all stuck by his lonesome, forced to pull out the song to get away from this one. And the TP, timing? Yeah, he'll be fine. Okay, good. Swiftly gets out of that one, but a bit of a misplay there. The commitment to try to get in the fight just came a hair too late, and they end up feeding over a lot more than they'd like. 3 down for 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Puppy had his black hole available, but just couldn't find the right opening. Was saving his soul ring so that he could maybe pull out just a clutch black hole and catch them off guard, but really never had a good opportunity for it. On the other side of the fight, it was just sort of secret, trying to make the escape, and they're running into this problem where Naga has decent farm, but she still isn't that much of a hard hitter. So even though they have the black hole, their damage output is just a little bit lacking in general. And I think the Maelstrom is a step in the right direction for the Prophet, but they need to secure some more farm on KuroKy. He has his drums complete, has 1,400 gold, but he needs that relic, and it couldn't come out a moment too soon.
The nice thing going for Secret, though, and when you're picking up a Naga core like this, is you're expected to try to push it towards the late game. Well, they haven't even lost a tower yet. So, with that said, Fnatic not really doing the best as far as taking objectives and keeping Secret pressured and not allowing a lot of farm space for KuroKy. But right now he has all the space he wants to find the farm. Given he's handed away a few deaths here and there, but he has some real estate to work with. But just as I say that, they're looking to cramp his style right now. They move in with disruption. Big Daddy pulls out the early relocate. Can he save his friend? He can! Pulls him out. And where did he go? He went over by the secret shop right now. And, well, Big Daddy, let's see if he can get away from this one. I've seen this guy pull out some cheeky plays to get out of this
coming
one.
in. Maybe he can tether across over the tree line, and he'll do it. But now will he be able to make the escape? Searing Chains connect, and yeah, that'll be the end of him. But a noble effort.
Yeah, but the more important thing is that he did save KuroKy from that, what looked like, inevitable doom, and he gets out of there. And now it looks like Fnatic can add a little bit of pressure to this Tier 1 in the top lane, but they're going to be coming at a trade here. Bottom lane, the Tier 1 will fall swiftly, and that's just another thing that Secret do have going for him. Fly is building into that really rad style that Bulldog really brought forward with the Maelstrom. He could invest in a Blink shortly after and just constantly keep pressure in those side lanes, keep Fnatic moving all over the place. If they can draw attention onto this Nature's Prophet, then they're forgetting about the Naga.
Yep. So, bottom lane, they'll continue pushing on, and there is a Radiant Glyph that is just refreshed. The TPs will come in. Come with me with the Blink Dagger ready. Hops over the tree line. KuroKy with no ultimate to make an escape. He'll be the first to go down. It's an unstoppable streak now for Hani, and they'll press right forward onto S4. But Big Daddy and Puppey are on their way, and they get caught in the Searing Chains. Wisp will get a decent penny for taking down the Timbersaul's unstoppable streak, but now S4. Missile is on the run. Puppey, again, looking for the opening. He'll use the Soul Ring to bring out the mech. Not enough to keep the Clockwork alive. It'll be a 1-for-2 trade, and now they'll just try to make the escape. Big Daddy will get hit by the homing missile. Puppey gets caught by the chains and a Storm Bolt to follow up, and it will end up being a 1-for-4. Certainly not what Secret had in mind.
No, definitely not. And it all started with that surprise factor, the blink across coming out from Sven, and they instantly burst down KuroKy, and it just all fell apart from there. And what was a fantastically farmed start for S4 on the Clockwork. He is 0-5 now. Every time he makes a commitment, it's just not working out that well for him. And it's looking really rough for him. He's trying to push forward, maybe getting that Crimson item, but really he just clearly does not have the proper defense to really hold strong right now, and it makes you question if the Clockwork pick is really going to work to their benefit right now. I mean, he's in there, he's causing a bit of panic, but for this team, they love to go into a fight. Gyrocopter would be happy to go toe-to-toe. Same with the Timbersaw. It's a bit questionable, but we'll see if S4 can rally and be able to pull it out for us.
Yeah, now just glancing at the graph, it is zeroed out, and this is the closest Fnatic has come to a lead in this match, and they'll take a big experience edge of about 4,000. Wisp just sitting on boots for now, gets a ward down on the high ground, and unfortunately for KuroKy, his farm is just not really accelerated. He's now been dethroned as #1 on the net worth chart. It has been taken by Trixie on the Ember Spirit, who now has a Perseverance, and they'll start working towards that first Battle Fury. Smoke in the top lane from Fnatic, they'll rotate through, and they're hungry for blood, and they might be able to find it. KuroKy does have a Song of the Siren available, though, so if they want to kill him, they'll have to do it fast.
They'll have to do it quick. There's also relocate, so they have 2 ways of getting out of potential danger here. We'll see if Fly decides to commit on over and help out, but they're actually going for Roche at the same time, so they are getting a bit distracted, making a go on this top lane Tier 1 right now, allowing for Puppey and Fly to take down the Roche, bringing about Half-Life right now. There's your Tier 1 being taken down, the first tower takedown for Fnatic, and this will be the first time of this game that they will be able to control the gold lead, and they're just happy with that thus far. And also, Hani on the Timbersaw, he is going to go for the Bloodstone first, and then we'll see from there on if he decides to go your usual Timbersaw route, maybe getting something like your Shivas, who knows, maybe in a Blink Dagger, or if he will indeed go for the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, the Roche will be successful. Took Secret a bit longer than they're used to, I'm sure, but Age is still hanging out onto the ground. They'll keep it safe, and KuroKy will slither his way over, and he'll be the one to pick up that second life with that poor man shield hitting the deck. Blink Dagger now comes out onto the Nature's Prophet, so it will be that more traditional rat style from Fly coming out onto the field, and with that, Fnatic will just retreat, possibly considering moving into that top Tier 2 tower, but won't commit for it, and we'll just kind of spread around the map. KuroKy, 2,800 gold up, getting one step closer to that Sacred Relic.
Yeah, and things are going to get tricky there. It's on Fnatic now to just keep the pressure, start getting these towers, take it down, restrict the farm from Secret, don't allow Naga to have the space to find this farm and become that nuisance, because, down the road, it's going to be questionable. But in Fnatic's defense, they do have fantastic wave clearing. They have great ways to deal with the illusions, the flat cannons, the Sleight of Fist rather from Trixie can handle these Naga illusions. So, Fnatic might be able to hold strong.
And down bottom, Trixie will defend, but this Sven build, look at these items, Point Booster, Staff of Wizardry. There's only one thing that can be, Coddle Guy.
Oh my god, we get to see it.
That will be the Ag Scepter, the Aura, God's Strength. And Trixie will be able to scoot back to the top lane as they initiate on him. Looks like it may just be a tower-for-tower exchange. Dire will use their Glyph. Both Tier 2s taking pretty heavy damage. Puppy's up top with a black hole at the ready, and looking for the proper angle to initiate. Naga will be able to finish off the bottom tier 2 tower. Fnatic have only done about half damage to this one. Glyph has already been used.
Relocate coming.
Now they'll press forward, relocate around the backside. Song of the Siren to set it up. Puppy with the black hole, but they don't cancel the song fast enough. Most of the black hole gets absorbed. He gets interrupted straight away. Still a lot of damage coming out onto Fnatic, but they're in full retreat mode. They'll spread out, and they'll all survive except Trixie, but Fire Remnant across the tree line. Can he hop to it? No. It will just be a 1-0.
Oh, bottom lane, though. They go back and they find Hani trying to TP in and defend, but he has, like, no life to work with, and they quickly take him down.
Yep.
Nice little trade there for Secret. I thought it was going to be a bit of a mistake bringing KuroKy back to the bottom lane, but it proves to be, to their benefit. They quickly clear, and they might even go up high ground here and do some damage on this tier 3.
And up top, Clockwork was able to hookshot in onto the gyrocopter and finish him off before his retreat. So Secret ended up getting a lot more out of that than it seemed at first, but yeah, I guess a miscommunication about when to turn off that Song of the Siren, as the black hole was not particularly effective.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to hold him. It would have been nice to get that extra bit of tower damage in, holding him right there. And, it just seemed like the fluidity wasn't as they expected. But regardless, I think they fared okay there. They got to take down the Ember. They got to take down the Gyros, some crucial cores, rather. And now Big Daddy and KuroKy just going through a farming spree, taking away the farm in the enemy jungle right now. And he's getting very, very close now to this Radiance.
Yeah, exactly right. He's picked up the recipe and about 200 gold away from grabbing the relic here at the Secret Shop, and that's the big takeaway from that fight. KuroKy lived. He got a tower kill before it started. He actually was the one to get the last hit and then assisted in that kill down bottom lane. So he is now in great shape. Still 2 minutes left on the Aegis of the Immortal, which was not used in that team fight, and he has reclaimed his spot on the top of net worth. Him and Fly both kind of battling it out for that position. But absolutely great news for the Dire side. Now they need to be careful. There is a smoke rotation from Fnatic, and KuroKy does not have an ultimate here. It is now level 2, but still stuck on that long cooldown, and they will look for a bit of a Naga sandwich, perhaps.
Yeah, and if they can get him before he gets the Sacred Relic, that would be very nice, but I don't think they're going to get the opportunity. And
too late.
With Hani being taken down before, his Bloodstone already lost, some charges there. He's at 5. That's not what you want in your Timbersaw. When you get a Bloodstone, you want to start building up those charges. You want to begin to snowball out of control, but he's not getting that start that he wants just yet. He is actually holding a chainmail, so he's not going to go down the Agnes Road just yet, at least. It looks like instead he could be going. I mean, I don't think there's another real mech holder on his team. He could be going for a mech, I suppose. Maybe the new Crimson Guard Idol? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, yeah, that is interesting. Crimson Guard on Timbersaw. I think we talked about the Aghanim Scepter quite a bit, and I think that is a little bit better on Timbersaw in terms of giving you some stats to help you tank up and also giving you that extra utility in the Chakram. But Blade Mail is an option that Timbersaws have done in the past, so maybe that's kind of where Hani's going with it.
You can put together, though, the armor benefit coming out from the Crimson Guard plus the benefit of the Warcry of Sven, and you got a nice little synergy there. So, we could be trying to read between the lines, or maybe they just know something we don't. Who knows?
Yeah, but there you go. The Aghanim Scepter complete on Come With Me. So 900 Radiance, granting your buddies God's strength. This is pretty ridiculous. You'll see it on Matumba Man here, and he'll get some extra damage coming out. It is an aura, so you just have to stay near the Sven. Song of the Siren to set things up, though. Matumba Man and Come With Me may get punished hard for their overcommitment. Matumba Man will be the first to go down. Come With Me gets isolated. Hook shot from across. And this is just a disaster for Fnatic in the mid lane. It'll be a quick 3-0. Black Hole still alive. And Secret will set their sights on the tier 2 mid.
That was very good for Secret. They come in, they clean up, and they didn't even need to commit a black hole for it. So big dominating force coming out from Secret right now, and they're going to keep the pressure. Look at all of the creeps and critters coming in on this tier 2 tower. Going to make quick work of it. What the extra damage from Naga, and this is going to crumble very quickly. Fortification is available if they want to use it, but nope, they don't. They don't want to use it. KuroKy picks up another tower kill for himself, and well, already having the Radiance and now nearly 2k gold, he is quickly escalating into a big, big problem.
Yeah, bottom lane, Trixie almost interrupted there, but the tower gets denied. That'll be the second tower kill of the game for Fnatic, but not looking so hot for them as there's only one outer tower remaining on their side, and we see KuroKy just being an irritant with these illusions, splitting the lanes and clearing out the creeps before they can even push out, and just giving Secret some great lane control around the map. And already up to 2,700 gold, probably looking for his BOTs, maybe a Yasha, so he's moving a little bit faster, but there's the big Crimson Guard now picked up on the Clockwork.
Yeah, he waited out on that one a bit, just kind of saved the Vanguard for quite a while, went for the Blade Mail, even got a Staff of the Wizardry along the way, but now finally gets it complete. I'd imagine he's going to turn that into a Force Staff, but A lot of armor for him there, plus 11, makes it up to 17 for himself after, getting caught out and taken down so swiftly. This is going to add a bit of extra durability for himself when he does decide to make the commitment, jumping in with the hook shot.
Yeah. Definitely so. It is a blade mail that Hani was working on, so now he'll have some return damage to deal with, and now the BOTs are out on the Naga Siren. So some big items picked up all around the board. But this is where Naga really starts to accelerate her farm as Dire Glyph gets used to try and protect the tier 1 mid. Smart play, as it will cool down here momentarily. Trixie coming in for the last hit, and it will go the way of Sven. So that is the end of the tier 1 towers. Still Secret with a pretty significant tower lead.
It's worthy to note, Trixie does have a double damage bottle up now, so they might want to consider looking to make a fight happen. This might be one of the best opportunities they have to try to just quickly rip them apart, get a hold of some of that big bounty gold in their favor. He already has a Battle Fury complete. Might look to either go into a little more survivability next or just go for the crit.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Puppy has a lot of farm too.
Yeah.
He's got nearly 2,500 already. The Ogre Club. He's going to go right for the BKB, and this is going to set up some pretty easy black holes for him, and they're not going to be able to stop him.
Down bottom, Trixie goes in on to Fly, but S4 is there with his blade mail used. Nice use of the cogs to create some space for Fly. Crimson Guard comes out. He'll be able to blink over the tree line, and Trixie, no remnants available. The cogs will be enough to lock him in place and secure the kill.
Wow, fantastic play coming out from S4 to help his ally Fly in need, and he gets away. And now a potential relocate. He goes right to the top lane where Hani is, and well, Hani, see you later. Gets taken down just like that. So action from top to bottom, Secret showing their mobility all over the place and getting objectives done left, right, and center. 19-18 your score, but looking at the worth, pushing towards that 8K gold lead in their favor.
Yeah, big difference there. We'll see Big Daddy go for a bouncy rune and find himself some extra gold there as he puts it in the bottle. 2,700 gold on the Wisp right now. Well, make that 2,800 as he eats the bounty rune. But kind of curious what No-Tail's going to be moving into item-wise here, as we could see another fight break out. S4 is ready with the hook shot. They'll go right in onto Sven. Has his ultimate available, but will save it for now. Just wants to run, not interested in fighting, and will use the war cry to much avail.
As far as items for Wisp, I mean, I personally wouldn't mind seeing a Halberd picked up. I think it could be useful on a couple of these heroes. It adds extra strength for the Wisp, and we'll have to see what kind of path he goes down with that as he gets ready to approach nearly the 3K gold mark on that. But he gets right back hand in hand with Kuroki, his partner in crime, if you will. Now with about 1K for himself here. He's got the Radiance, he's got the bots, and Yasha on the way here. So a very, very wealthy and well-farmed Naga Siren still. Just going to be a big, big problem for Fnatic.
Yeah, and now he has all those core farming tools. He's already about 4,000 or 5,000 gold ahead on net worth of the leading farmer on Fnatic. And now he has these big farming tools just to let him sit back and really soak up the farm. Secret are doing a good job clearing out their jungle, utilizing the Ancients, and here we go. It will be a Blink Dagger on the Wisp. So now Big Daddy with a little bit more mobility.
Yeah, we've been seeing how that, in case he does manage to pull out those relocate saves, when he does return, if he can get a quick shift, off of the blink, he might be able to make a quick escape. So the extra mobility definitely will help out with Wisp, whether it's to blink in and help out an ally, blink in forward and try to catch up with anyone. It's a great tool to have, and though it was increased by 100 gold, it's not going to deter him too much.
Yeah, and in situations where you relocate and you're stuck by yourself, sometimes it can ensure your survival, but speaking of relocate, they'll go on to come with me in the mid lane, and they'll secure that kill. Now Wisp will bring his friend with him as they come back. Puppy's in position to set up a black hole, gets on the other side of the tree line. Big Daddy and Kuroki are here. Song the Siren to set it up. And Puppy coming in, but Boogie, he's off to the side.
Is it big enough?
He would be able to interrupt it, but the black hole, BKB is there. Disruption comes out to keep Trixie alive. Matumba Man, the target of choice, he'll use his BKB. Not enough to stay alive. Trixie gets clicked down. Meanwhile, on the backside, the Shadow Demon will TP home to safety. But it is Team Secret that, I think needless to say, come out way ahead. A 3-0 across the map.
And they've been coming out on top for at least the past 3 or 4 fights, and it's looking much, much harder for Fnatic to try to come back into this one. They need to formulate some sort of game plan to try to get a hold of this big bounty gold, maybe try to focus down this Naga, but, Big Daddy's not going to make it easy. He's been constantly right there, hand in hand, helping out his ally. Just got to be one of the best supports in the game, especially when he gets a hold of this Wisp. But next objective on the list for Secret is moving on to this ever so tight Roche pit right now and looking to take him down, and they're going to be able to do it rather quickly.
Yeah, it looks like Fnatic won't be able to mount any kind of a defense with 2 heroes still down. they just won't go. They won't even try it, and it will be an uncontested Aegis going the way of Team Secret. Who picks it up this time? It will be Fly on the Nature's Prophet, as Kuroki just goes right back to farming. He's already completed his Manta style now, and still hanging on to that Quelling Blade so he can last hit those creeps that much more effectively. But big items coming out all around on the Dire side. And here we go.
From behind enemy lines. They're going right for come with me, and he has been susceptible to these relocate and caught out ganks over and over and over again. It puts him at about 3, 3, and 5. Actually, not as many as I thought, but I feel like he always gets caught on the wrong end of a fight. Meanwhile, bottom lane, it's S4 and Trixie going toe-to-toe, but not without Big Daddy to come right in, but the Remnant will be able to get the Ember Spirit out of it.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the rest of Secret going hard on this tier 3 tower. Flat Cannon's there to help clear up the creeps, but they still get the tower down to about 2/3 HP just off that little skirmish. Glyph is still standing for Fnatic, and Secret looking for the right angle of attack. There is no black hole for another minute and a half. They do have a Song of the Siren that's just cooled down, but Secret don't need to press the issue here. No reason to take unnecessary risks when you have a Naga who's this far ahead and has all the tools to further that lead. They will do a little bit of split push with Fly in the top lane, but they make the smart choice here and just play it safe, clear out the Radiant jungle, and go right back to farming.
Yeah, and Fly with that Aegis, he's plenty of time. I mean, in the recent 6.82 patch, it's now only 5 minutes for an Aegis before it expires instead of the usual 6. So it's also something that they have to be concerned about. Now, he could use this as motivation to get a little more risky with his rat side pushes here, or, you know, they might look to just have another team engagement and try to catch someone out with a relocate and that TP. But they'll wait a bit, they'll farm up a bit more, but I would imagine in the near future, Secret are probably going to consider going for the final blow.
Yeah, and talk about recoveries. We mentioned S4 had all that early farm, then went 0 and 5. He's now 3, 5, and 16. That just goes to speak as to how active he's been. Now looking for an Aghanim Scepter, so that'll help him tank up even more. And, of course, bring that hook shot down to a super low cooldown. Trixie will get jumped on here. He has a Remnant at the high ground near the tier 3, so not a hell of a lot S4 can do here in terms of securing this kill. And, yeah, hook shot will be off the mark. And a noble effort, but I think the Ember Spirit would have been able to get away regardless.
Fun new patch fact about Clockwork is he can also hookshot neutral creeps now if he needed to get away. I don't think he's been using it, but a fun little thing if he wanted to be quite the trapeze artist as a Clockwork, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely right about that. Matumba Man hasn't found much past his BKB, Helm of the Dominator, still sitting on that 9-second charge, but kind of fallen off a little bit. It looks like Hani will start moving towards his Aghanim Scepter. Has the point booster in 1,300, so about 1,700 gold away, and then we'll see the double Chakram coming out for us here, Coddle Guy. Now the Mask of Madness is complete on Sven, who's moving into more of the carry role after picking up that Aghanims. But so far, it's been a little underwhelming. Fnatic just haven't had any opportunities to really get a good team fight going and feel the benefits of that 900 radius aura.
Well, because the problem is you got to clump up to make it work, and if you clump up, you're going to get a black hole in your face. So, you know, it doesn't quite work out to their benefit when they're going against this kind of a team. And, well, the duration of it with the Aghanims, I'm not too sure if it lasts just as long as God's Strength does. I mean, it's pretty long. So it's 900 radiance, it's bonus damage.
Yeah, it basically just
for
gives
25 seconds.
Yeah, it makes his ultimate an aura, so it gives him an aura.
So you'd have to know what kind of fight you want to take. You get into your huddle. He calls out the God Strength, and then you try to make initiation happen, and just hope to God you don't get caught on the back end of a bad fight. So, you know, it's a bit risky to pull out here, and like you said, I really haven't seen it as promising as we'd hoped.
Yeah. Now, another scary item soon to be picked up. It's in the hands of Fly. He has the ultimate orb already and has enough gold to finish up that Scythe of Vice. So a nice Hex piece will be coming out, I think, undoubtedly. When he decides to pick it up, that's another question. May want to pool for a little bit of buyback gold, potentially. Just keep farming that unreliable. But, yeah, here we go. Heads over to the secret shop and still getting used to the new pathing of the trees, but there you go. There's your shiny new Scythe, and woohoo, relocate down towards the bottom lane. Oh, it's, pardon me, just a teleport from Simba. But
and relocate.
On the way, but Trixie, he's just a little too elusive, being very smart to keep Fire Remnants down at the base, so he doesn't get picked off in a situation such as that.
Nice little benefit for your Ember Spirit to avoid the incoming pesky gank, and well, like that, they just kind of retreat back to once they came as they go back to their side of the river and up in continuation of farm will ensue, and I guess maybe they play it safe. They wait for the primary point when Naga gets fully 6-slotted, and then they can go for that final blow. But for right now, you know, just still very calm. I mean, it's not like we've seen the craziest amount of black holes. Puppy's BKB is still only at 9 seconds, so they've been a little timid or just maybe playing it a little extra cautious, a little extra safe, and maybe just seeing if they can find all these little neat pickoffs. But regardless, they're really corralling Fnatic back. They can't really go out too far. Their leash is just very small, and of course this is going to leave the supports with pretty much no farm to work with. Their duty is just kind of walking back and forth in these lanes and trying to clear out some of the creeps.
So the Aegis of the Immortal will expire. Roche will be up in just about 5.5 minutes, so Secret could wait for that. It will be third Roche, so maybe they want some of that yummy cheddar before they really commit to a team fight. But they really want Trixie. It's been like 3 times now that they've rotated down bottom, and they keep trying to catch him without that Fire Remnant available, but they just can't do it. The Hex almost came out from flying. Maybe that would have been enough to lock him down if the Cavalry could have followed up, but Trixie will survive once more, and Secret just go back to farming. As you mentioned, basically just keeping them on this quadrant of the map right inside of their base.
That's the problem, though. You're hoping usually by this point your Ember Spirit's more on the offensive, but he's constantly just trying to avoid getting caught out, dodging bullets left and right, and just trying to get what farm he can. Just goes to show Fnatic being a bit crippled this one.
Yeah, Hani's showing us the power of the double chakram as he now has his Aghanim Scepter complete. But as you pointed out, the big issue with this build is mana sustainability. And if Hani's not careful, he will run dry very quickly.
Yeah, but the nice thing, though, and on the opposite side, is these chakrams will definitely help out in taking down those Naga illusions. But just as I say that, Heart now complete on Kuroki. Those Naga illusions are going to be a little more work now to try to take down.
Just a little bit. And smoke rotation coming out from Fnatic. They'll jump onto Big Daddy. He'll take the Sven stun to start things off, but Kuroki's right there, has the ultimate at the ready. And what do they do here? Do they relocate out? Do they create some space? And Puppy coming in, looking for the black hole, thinking about it, gets down the Midnight Pulse, but now taking some hard right clicks. Big Daddy off to the side, will fall to the wrath of Come With Me. And now Puppy, he'll get left behind. Big Daddy, he buys back, he relocates in. And they're looking for the opening to find this. The cleanup here has Come With Me. Gets caught inside of the Sprout. He'll go down. The other TPs will be successful, and it's just a 1-for-1. Wisp was forced to buy back there, but will head back to the well. Brings Puppy with him, and they'll just sort of scurry back towards the lane. So, now maybe not the most worthy of buybacks from No Tail, but yeah, 1-for-1, I guess, kind of a break even.
One of the best opportunities for Fnatic right there to try to get something going. It almost looked like for a moment there they were going to get the opportunity they wanted, even though Kuroki stepped in to save his ally with that song. It looked like there was potential for them to get that prize pickoff on Kuroki. And if they ever do, I'm sure there's a lump sum coming their way, but it's just proven to become much more troublesome than they'd like to have.
Yep, it's my money and I need it now. We'll see a Daedalus coming out for Ember Spirit pretty soon. Does have enough to buy the Demon Edge when he's so inclined. Has already picked up the Daedalus recipe, so he's starting to hit pretty hard. And this is that time in the game when Ember Spirit starts to scale pretty damn well, and it makes pushing just that much more difficult, especially if he ends up picking up another Battle Fury, being forced to fight in the corridors of breaching the high ground. Make things pretty difficult. Top lane here, Trixie may get jumped on, but again, keeping those Fire Remnants down, and will scoot back as soon as there's any sign of trouble coming his way.
But constantly all over the place, you got Fly putting in the hours right now on those side lanes, keeping the creeps constantly at the Fnatic base, adding that pressure, keeping them back. And now they could just kind of wait it out. Maybe they play it extra safe, wait for the Roche to pop back up, get a hold of that Aegis, and then decide to go for the high ground. And for Fnatic, they can't even keep the creeps on the other side of the river here. I mean, just as swift as these creeps walk over it, it's someone like S4 to show up and just try to clear them out.
And speaking of Fly, he'll go into the enemy jungle, has a TP scroll, but they're heading his way. He will be able to make it back just in the nick of time, but now gets pinged out, and okay, we'll blink to safety, but playing with fire there. Bounty Rune down bottom, S4, and might be able to pick it up and grab a little bit of extra gold, but no, he'll just move into the jungle. He's all by his lonesome, but don't forget about that global presence, so just trying to bait out an overcommitment so his buddy Wisp can turn things around perhaps. Rocket's Flare to scout things out. Thinking about a hook shot. Will get hit by a
nice
sleight
cogs.
of fist. And yeah, cogs in this area here make it difficult over Sue. But Come With Me comes in, pops the ultimate, grabs the Bounty Rune, and goes right on to S4. Crimson Guard won't save you from that one. Kuroki's here with the ultimate. Relocation from Big Daddy, but they might just want to head for the hills when the relocate sends them back. There's a gem on Big Daddy. He does not want to go down here, but he will. Gem's on the ground. Hani will be the one to pick it up. Wrath of Nature flying through. But it will be a 2-for-0. Certainly not what Secret had in mind there.
Fair amount of gold coming their way. Trixie had just completed that Daedalus and now already has 1,800 gold. I'm not sure exactly how much of a bonus package of gold he got.
Looking at that net worth, it's a pretty big chunk, at least 5K split amongst the team. So that'll be a BKB on the Sven at the very least.
But there's still just so many troublesome things happening on the map. Just when you think you're really trying to take it to Team Secret, you got to consider Fly is just always there, being a real pain in the ass in these side lanes. Real Bulldog-esque, if you will, just constantly side pushing these lanes, keeping them spread all over the place, going for defenses. You know, this allows Fnatic to not really try to clump his 5, because anytime they commit for a big fight, and if Fly's not there, he's going to be taking your base.
Yeah. Puppy's black hole is cooled down from that little whiff he had earlier. Accidentally cancel casted it there. So he's back in fighting shape. And Naga Siren, Heart of the Siren, Heart of Tarask, still the last item that she picked up, but now up to 2,600 gold. The big problem there, and I guess why the net worth jump was so much, aside from the streaks, is also handing over the gem. That is rather unfortunate for Secret. But that's what happens when you get a little hyper-aggressive in the Radiant jungle. They'll hop on to come with me. He uses BKB to try to make the escape. Blink forward from Simba will be enough to bring him down. Big Daddy relocates in, and they will find a kill onto the Sven. He does not have a buyback available. So this could be a window of opportunity for Secret to look towards breaching the high ground.
Oh, top lane, Trixie wants this tower. Will he get it? No, he's not going to go for it. He wants to play it extra safe and quickly. Remnants out of trouble, and this allows KuroKy to get the swift deny on that tier 2 and pulls back. So Fnatic trying to get what they can from the other lanes, even if they have to lose allies on the other side. But
ooh, now a Scythe of Vice picked up on the Enigma. So more big items coming out for this Dire side. Their lead is starting to slip a little bit in terms of numbers, but their item progression is not slipping at all. Third Roche has respawned. Perhaps this is what they've been waiting for as they move right into the pit with Sven down for another 30 seconds. Perfect time to secure a kill on him, and does kind of limit the chances that Fnatic will really want to try to contest this, or at least feel comfortable doing so.
It's apparent they're getting really tired of how slippery Ember Spirit's become, and now with this extra sheep stick, it's just going to be a whole lot of lockdown, and it's not going to be as easy for him to get away now if he does get caught out. But you know, we'll have to see how it goes here. You know, if Nature's Prophet sees him, blinks in, gets the Hex, Puppy Control in, followed up with the secondary Hex, and by that point, I'm sure they'll be able to burst him down. I mean, Ember Spirit does not have a BKB, so if he gets caught out, he's going to be done for here. But he's got 3.8K for himself here. But he might just decide to go more damage-oriented, could go for the secondary Battle Fury here, as he does, you know, consider favoring clearing out the waves, clearing out those Naga illusions from being able to push into the high ground.
Yeah, the second Battle Fury is pretty scary at this stage of the game. Could also be looking towards a BKB, not a bad option there. But Aegis of the Immortal goes to the Naga Siren, and Cheese will go the way of Wisp. Not a big surprise on that one either. Can heal up his buddy and himself simultaneously. Oh, yeah. So an extra powerful item in the hands of the Particle Spirit here. KuroKy, what's he looking at? Goes for the Eagle Song. Yeah. So Butterfly going to be that next item of choice.
Very nice. The extra evasion will help out. You know, so they can't be easy of a target, but
so now Secret have pretty much everything they need to take a successful team fight. Looking at Vision, they've got some very aggressive wards down in the mid lane as well as the bottom lane. So that's usually a sign that they will look towards the high ground. I think the plan of attack will be to get a pick off outside of the base, preferably someone that doesn't have a buyback, and then make reaching the high ground that much easier. Trying to brute force it will be a risky proposition against the Gyrocopter, Timbersaw, the Cleave from the Sven, and the Ember Spirit. I don't think that they can just take a 5v5 headed up towards the high ground unless they get like the perfect Black Hole Song in the Siren Initiation. And now Puppy has a Blink Dagger, so perhaps that will become a reality.
Top lane, Fnatic looking to continue to push on 4. Flight had TP'd himself up here to prep himself in position. Given he gets appropriate jump in and followed up with a nice relocate. Uh-oh. Hi, how's it going? Blink forward into 3 people. I don't know, Fly, about this one, but here comes that relocate. They get out the ensnare, which does go through BKB. Locks come with me, and the Shadow Demon in their place. It allows them to right-click them to town right now, and oh, Secret. Nice rotations to that top lane. Very heavy.
The bait from Fly, working out like a charm. Gem hits the deck, and it should go back the way of the Dire side, I think. Did they just leave it sitting on the ground? They sure did. There's just a Gem chilling. And Trixie, he'll grab an invisibility rune. Looks like it'll be a race for the Gem. Big Daddy, he wants it. He doesn't have any inventory space. Oh, no, he gets caught in the searing chains. He'll be forced to eat the cheese, but who's going to get the gem, and Big Daddy just on the run. Looks like he'll still fall. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, a fight's breaking out. Matumba Man caught inside of the cogs. He'll be the first to go down. Ember Spirit, he finds the gem, but he'll have to TP home. Just not in a great position to mount this defense. Finally makes it back. Tier 3 tower still standing, but getting low. The glyph will come out. The creeps just get cleared up from the cleave. Buyback from the gyrocopter, and that will quell the push from Secret. Big Daddy just not quite prepared to deal with an invisible Ember Spirit on that one.
Yeah, and you know, surprisingly, they're unable to take the tier 3 down. And, you know, we'll see. There is a huge high ground defense coming here on the side of Fnatic. And after the Ember Spirit took down Big Daddy, he had about 6K available to himself here. And I'm trying to find out. It looks like he did send the courier up. He's going to go what looks like for, I'm trying to see right here.
The double javelin, that's what was on the courier when it was taken out. It will be an MKB on the Ember Spirit. So slowing down Trixie's item progression quite a bit there, but will have it complete as he has more than enough gold to pick up the Demon Edge.
The MKB works nicely, obviously, because, you know, Kuroki picking up that butterfly with that evasion. This will allow now both the Gyrocopter and the Ember Spirit to, you know, deal with that and be able to do the damage they essentially want to put out there.
Yeah. Certainly so. Double MKB makes a lot of sense, and it's also just huge damage output. That's the other great thing about this item, especially in the hands of an Ember Spirit. Look how much he hits for now. Over almost 400 a pop, and that's before the spend aura with the Aghanim Scepter.
Oh,
so
yeah.
now things are getting pretty scary in context to that God Strength.
One of those things you forget. He has the Aghanim Scepter. If he pulls out the God Strength buff on the Ember Spirit, Puppy goes, he knows, come with me. He's hiding in the woods right here, and, well, going to get swiftly taken down. And it is S4 to pick up that kill. You know, no buyback right now available on the Sven. So we'll see if they try to go for a push. The relocate sends them all the way back, but they're looking to push on forward. Hook shot. Yep, catches on the Shadow Demon. That's another swift takedown on the flimsy little support there. 2 down. Shadow Demon does have a buyback, however, if he needs to come back into this one, but they're going to wait it out a bit. Kuroki does have the song available if he wants to decide to push the high ground and use it to try to get some licks in, but
two big problems for Fnatic here. They don't have a glyph, and Gyrocopter's buyback is still on cooldown. S4 with the long-range hook shot right onto Matumba Man. Looks like he'll be the first to take a tumble as the black hole comes out from Puppy just to isolate him down. The Shadow Demon has bought back, but now Trixie turned into a piggy. They'll focus him down. Do they have the damage to bring him down? The defensive disruption is there. That'll buy him some time as Hani hops in to join the party. Trixie will scoot to safety, turns it around, brings down the Clockwork with his huge damage. Kuroki forced to use the Song of the Siren. Aegis of the Immortal has already been used, and they will just head for the hills. Hani's mana is going bye-bye with the double Chakram out. They will survive. Wrath of Nature flying through, but hey, down in the bottom lane, Simba will finish off the Tier 3 tower, commencing the Rat Dota, now finds a kill on the Ember Spirit. He'll buy back. The ranged racks stay standing. So still a victory for Secret. They force a bunch of buybacks to make that happen, and they're not done quite yet. They'll go right back for the top Tier 3.
Yep, No Tail had brought Naga back to the base, allowing her to get full resources. They make pressure now on this top tower from the north right now, and, well, Fly can come in from the south, so they're going to be doing intense split push action here, and it's going to be on Fnatic to try to make it work. The Gyrocopter had been dead and no buyback, so they're only working with 4, trying to deal with all this heavy pressure. You can really see it right now. They're trying to move outside the base, though. Sven running full forward force, trying to go for Puppy. BKB Pop wants to chop the Blue Man group right in the backside right now. Come on, you son of a gun. Trying to bring him down as quick as possible. He pulls out his own BKB. Timbersaw moves forward. Can they manage to bring him down? There's Fly. He shows up to the party. Puppy gets saved with a nice sprout on 2. Chakram forward. Tether there. Puppy makes a nice escape to get away, and Hani is left for dead and promptly behind. Ember Spirit trying to get some damage in, but unfortunately they just went out a little too far. Hani does have a buyback and wants to get back in, and, well, Shadow Demon will fall. Gem is going to be on the deck, and it is going to be Fly to pick it up.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Big Daddy and Puppy pressing forward. Puppy kind of rubbing it in their faces that he's back, and he's at an acceptable level of HP. But Homing Missile will fly through. It'll stun him in the face. Now Trixie pressing forward, but hook shot from S4 stops him dead in his tracks. He gets turned into a piggy, and this will be a dead Ember Spirit. He's already bought back. It's on cooldown. A buyback now from Hani. Fnatic on their last leg in Secret. They've had enough. They want to end it here. Still no glyph available, and I think you're right. This should be it. Top lane of Rax have fallen. Mid lane, Tier 3 tower goes down, and Secret look like they're just moments from securing a win.
Yeah, no buyback available, obviously, on Ember, which has pretty much been their dark horse of the team, and it's just not looking good, and there it is. The GG call gonna fly out, and it looks like Secret, with their first debut match in the 6.82, proves to be very successful in the hands of the Puppy draft. It did get a bit scary there at the end. It looked like Trixie was going to be able to bring up some significant farm for his team and be able to bring the pain, but Secret, cool, calm, and collected, get their objectives done, and swiftly take out the base.
Wow, what a fun series of events for the end. Puppy with the big juke. Sven uses his BKB maybe just a little bit early to break the Malefice. Puppy turns right around with his BKB. The team support is there, and that was sort of the beginning of the final downfall for Fnatic as Hani had to commit deep for it, and then ultimately that was his demise. So, wow, what a game here, Kato Guy. A fun one. Basically everything we would expect for a Fnatic versus Secret matchup, but we've got possibly an even bigger matchup coming next. Secret versus Na'Vi, the final match for Starladder EU today, and I think safe to say the big kahuna.
Oh, I can't wait. That's going to be the main event. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. We'll see. Secret have been looking fantastic. That puts them ahead, I believe, 9-1 in the group stages.
They're
right up there.
Great shape and well on their way to make it to the top 4. So we'll have a break, guys, and coming up after this, Na'Vi versus Secret.